Okay, guys. So here's the part two of our fourth episode. So for all our viewers, in the part one, we discussed about the India-England T20I series, and this part is going to feature, more related to the overseas nations. And Dan, I'm going to start with you. So there's this one cricketer from Australia who's making huge waves in the Australian domestic circuit, and that's Cameron Green. He made his debut last year against India, but in the domestic circuit, he has done really, really well. Averages, I think, over 55 for Western Australia, and has had a breakout season in the Sheffield Shield. So, Dan, my question to you is, before I come to Nikhil on this, that how can Australia use him in the best possible way across formats? We know he's an
Well,
all-rounder, but primarily a batting all-rounder. And we have seen, what has happened to all-rounders like Mitchell Marsh, and maybe Moises on Ricks. Mitchell Marsh has been injury prone, and Moises has been just in and around there. So how do you think that Australia can use him so that he stays fit and performs across formats?
is there anything this kid cannot do? He's 21. That's better than Ponting. Bowls faster than Andy Flintoff with an outswinger during the 2005 Ashes. The only time when Flintoff actually had a decent series, unfortunately.
Why do you say? Why do you say he's better than Ponting?
Oh, he is. He's actually scored runs
really
in Ponting at the same age. He's come off a double hundred, another 100 in the March Cup. I think he's in a real purple patch right now. He pulled off an amazing catch.
Oh, that catch was really good. Really good catch.
Outdoor catch. Great in the gully. Bowls 140 plus an hour. Great outswinger, in-swinger. There's nothing he can't do. In fact, we don't need 10 other cricketers. We just send out Cameron Green. We just need him and a keeper. We'll put a keeper in, but just the two of them.
You don't want Cam to go and chase the ball.
Well, someone's got to catch the ball when he's bowling. We'll just have Cam Green. The only thing I haven't seen Cam Green do yet is either bowl spin or bowl left arm. He can do that. He'll be the complete package.
I mean, we know he can do it, right? He's just showing off yet, but he will probably bowl left-handed as well soon.
Yeah,
but
the key, back to your original question, in all seriousness, the key with Cam Green was he's originally a bowling all-rounder, and he started off as a bowler.
Yes.
And stress WA have had a run where they had Jason Barron down with stress fractures, the same with Cameron Green as well. And, during that off time when he wasn't bowling, he improved his batting, and it's just kicked in and it's kicked on. We're going to see a lot more of this kid we're going to see him dominate the game for the next 15 years. He bats like Peterson, exactly like Peterson, tall, upright. And I think once he gets a little bit more confidence at international level, we'll see him destroying attacks around the world with both bat and ball. I'll call it now. Possibly future Australian captain.
Oh.
No, not possible. It surely be the captain.
I'm going to call it right now.
Probably would be in the next 2 years, 2-3 years probably. By 25, he should be the captain. I mean, 4 years.
25, he'll be the captain.
Yeah.
He's going to have the number 6 role for the next, next decade. And the difference between him and Mitchell Marsh is consistency. The thing with the Marsh brothers, the problem for Mitchell Marsh is that he's Sean Marsh's brother. That's it. Sean Marsh on his day is one of the best batsmen in the world to watch. Bats like our beautiful cover drive, hits it crisply. Especially the shorter formats of the game. But the problem for Mitchell Marsh, Sean's brother. And how many times have they been in the Test side? Mitchell Marsh can play, and I mean when he's on, he's fantastic. And we'll see him in the short form of the game again in the T20 World Cup. We'll see him in the ODI side again, but he needs to be bowling. You need to have that second string to your bow, and he just needs that consistency with his batting. And I think in the BBL you saw that at times where he was able to power through the ball. But there's some scary all-rounders coming through for Australia. You're going to have Cam Green, Mitchell Marsh, Mark Stoinis, Dusty Shorts. And add that in with Glenn Maxwell. That's a pretty scary batting lineup. You've got 8 bowlers, eight batsmen who can win your games from anywhere, which is great. Yeah. So it's just consistency, getting more exposure, getting these guys in younger and getting them playing at international level faster. And I mean, if they fail, that's okay, because you got to remember back in the day when Steve Waugh made his debut, it took him 17 matches to get his first Test 100. So we're not giving these guys enough leeway, especially in Australia. So I think this kid's the real deal, and he's going to be around for years to come.
Right. Valid point.
Yeah.
Nikhil, what do you have to say?
Oh yeah, I'm a huge Cam Green fan, and I can tell you why, because the moment you said that we'll be discussing Cam Green, I already was smiling at the screen, right? I knew, like, I had my phone in the hand and I'm like, yeah, Cam Green session, like, if you're just gonna appreciate him, that's a good way of spending an evening. So I was all for it. And yeah, but you watch a player, right? And it's not just the talent which he has. Like, many people have talent, but you can see when he's performing and against who is performing as well, right? Like, the breakout or the coming out of the cocoon moment for him was when the chips were down. They were like around 78 for 7 or something, and they were facing, I think, Perth. I'm not sure who they were facing, but I think he just came out and just batted the whole day with the tailenders. And yeah, that's the moment where you know that someone has a good cricketing head on their shoulders, right? Like, anyone can bat on a flat deck when the team's scoring 500, that's fine. But when the chips are down and you have to use your sensibilities and maturity and stuff like that, and he's still 21, right? Like, that's when you know that you have something special. It's not just the talent, it's the overall package which he has. And I think probably the best time for him right now to be introduced in the team as well, because there are players who will be heading into the latter part of their careers, and they might not be sticking around for another 5 or 6 years, but that's where he will be taking the charge. I truly believe that he probably might, and he will be used up the order as well, like number 4 probably. If he continues the way he's batting, why not put him at number 4 if he's all there? And like you mentioned with the stress factor which he had as well when he was bowling, like, if Australia have that bowling firepower already, they might even just not bowl him excessively to preserve him and use him as an out-and-out batsman as well, which is a fair shout considering the talent which he has with the bat as well. And we have seen with Steve Smith, right? Like, you can start as a bowler, and then if you shine with the bat, then you don't even need to touch the ball. But yeah, if that extends his career or makes it easier for him physically, then why not? I love watching him bat. He has like Dan said, he has that KP element, like tall batsman, the imposing factor. You know that you can't just like bowl 2 short balls to him and he's gonna be like ducking and getting scared of it. You can't do that to him. So once you remove that element, you know that the batsman can dominate. And if the ball, regardless of who's bowling, if you are tall and you are in command of the situation, then you'll probably come out on top more often than not. So yeah, in as a futuristic view, I see him at number 4, lesser bowling probably, and that's nothing to do with the fact that he is not a good bowler or a bad bowler or anything on those lines. Just that I'm thinking more as a maximizing his potential and keeping him away from any injuries. And that's something which has hindered many Aussie bowlers, especially their progress. And I don't want that to be repeated to Cam Green. He's just too special to do that, right? We don't want to risk it. So let him bat, let him take responsibility at number 4. And yeah, like Dan said, he's the next captain Australia needs in the long term. And yeah, we'll see it very soon. Just depends whether it's at 25 or 24. But he is meant to be the captain. He'll be there and thereabouts.
I think that's an amazing point of view. But here I have one thing to say that, see, Cameron Green, of course, with the way he bats, with whatever limited I've seen of him, I've watched his innings. he has this ability to bat in the top four across formats for Australia. However, what I'm really excited about is that he's a fast. He's also he can also bowl that fast fast bowls. He's actually I think around 130 or 135 kmph if I'm not wrong. I think that is where how can Australia maximize its potential is going to be a very very interesting factor, because you really do not want to lose someone who can actually bowl that fast and can also be a top four batsman. Something that we just saw of Jack Callis, a few years ago, maybe. So a player of this potential should actually be looked well after. And if he can, if let's say, if Cricket Australia can manage his, workload and his injuries very well, then I think he can actually be the next Australian superstar that a lot of experts have all actually, talked about. So yeah, I think it's going to be all about the workload management here. And if Cricket Australia can actually pull off a blinder here, I think Australia will do have a great captain in Cameron Green.
Yeah, I think the thing which you mentioned about Jack Callis as well, right? The reason why we don't have many of those fast bowling top order batsmen anymore is because of the number of matches and the number of formats which players play today, right? Like there's literally no gap for people. They're just like flat out bang, bang, bang. Like earlier you had Test cricket, you had ODI cricket, there was gap in between. You could recover physically and mentally as well. Now it's more about just playing as many matches as you can. If you're not playing for your national team, you're playing for a franchise, because that's what players want to do, right? Like everyone wants to do it. So you, at one point, you have to make a call. What side of the field do you want to pick? Like either you want to focus on your batting or your bowling, because you can see like the likes of Andre Russell, Hardik Pandya as well. They are facing those injuries when they are with the knees, with their when the bowling comes into play, right? And do you really want to risk? Because like frankly, he's like a generational talent, right? He's not one of those normal, usually he's a good player. People are looking at him and they're calling him the next Ricky Ponting. Ricky Pontings don't come every day. They probably don't come once a generation as well. We haven't seen like one Steve Smith, one Ricky Ponting, one I can't even come up with Sachin Tendulkar, Virat Kohli. Like these are the kind of players we are talking about, and then you compare someone to him, he's special. So why lose it and try to get him to bowl when you can actually use his or extend his career and make it easier for him? That's the only reason why I wouldn't probably bowl him a lot. But because it's just a matter of preserving a generational talent. That's all.
That's absolutely brilliant. Dan, I'm going to come to you, and we're going to shift our focus to the New Zealand-Bangladesh ODI series that starts later this week. So Dan, both the teams would be without their, one key player each. And for New Zealand, it's Kane Williamson, their captain. And for Bangladesh, it's going to be Shakib Al Hasan. So what do you think, how difficult it would be for both these sides without their best players not present?
Well, I mean, you can already hear the excuses coming out of New Zealand. That's half their team gone. There's the top order batting gone.
The only reliable guy.
So, we don't have Kane. We're saving him for the Test series. I'm not going to be. I'm tipping an upset. I'm tipping Bangladesh to take this one. New Zealand put all their eggs into they put all their dollars on the series against Australia just to try and one up them there, and I think we'll see Bangladesh score a terrific upset in this series. I think the Kiwis won't really rate them, and I think Bangladesh will be able to pull off a surprise here.
Nice.
Nikhil, what are your thoughts?
I think I want Bangladesh to do well. I just can't see Bangladesh doing well just because New Zealand has played so much of cricket in their home country, and it's not just like a 1 or 2 series. It's been like a while now that they have been continuously playing while Bangladesh didn't even have their bowling coach Daniel Vittori with them for like a year. So he was probably on Skype sessions with them and Zoom calls and stuff and trying to teach them stuff. But while New Zealand were actually playing international level cricket. So, and I think West Indies performed pretty well against Bangladesh at Bangladesh. So I don't have much hope with Bangladesh doing well in New Zealand. Although, like you said, the one element of it is that probably New Zealand overlook them as a threat and just like underestimate them and they slip up. But just the pure talent in New Zealand and playing at home, if they were playing in Bangladesh, I probably would give Bangladesh some chance. But in New Zealand, probably not. They'll probably sweep Bangladesh in the series.
Absolutely, and I think that also presents an opportunity for someone like Devon Conway. With the way he has done well in the T20 internationals, I think he'll possibly, be Kane Williamson's replacement in that playing 11. And I think New Zealand's, more or less their rest of the team is sorted. You have good fast bowlers, then you have a good middle order. And then, I'm a big fan of Henry Nicholls. He has actually, upped his game when it comes to ODIs, and his promotion at the top of the order, I think, has been a good thing since that 2019 World Cup. So yeah, I think New Zealand would still be favorites, but cannot keep Bangladesh out of the contest for too long because they're known to be fighters, and something that has been the case since the last 5-6 years. So yeah.
Yeah. Plus they have beaten New Zealand, right? Like they beat New Zealand 4-0, 3-0. That was like almost a decade ago.
Yeah,
but then they beat them in the Champions Trophy as well in 2017, I think. And then the World Cup as well. Yes. The World Cup as well. They ran them pretty close. It wasn't like a easy win for Bangladesh in a big easy win for New Zealand in the World Cup as well.
Just a 2 or 3 wicket win, if I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty close. So it's not like they have a great record against Bangladesh recently. So if that comes into play, then maybe Dan is right. Maybe Dan knows something we don't know, or he's like he could be right about it. And I can see why he's tipping Bangladesh. I mean, it makes sense. Just that I can't see New Zealand losing. I can't picture that side losing to Bangladesh at home. Like I said, if it was in Bangladesh, I would probably tip New Zealand to Bangladesh to have a chance.
Yeah.
But in New Zealand, probably just too strong at home. They'll sweep the series.
Nice. So that just sums it up for us. So thank you guys once again for joining, and for our viewers, do subscribe to our channel Cricket Spectacle for more such videos on cricket and the game we three love. Till then, it's goodbye from me, Dan, and Nikhil.
See ya.
All right, bye for now, guys.
See ya.